Buckle up, everyone, because so many brand new rides are coming to Disney's theme parks. We're talking about them all today here on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So the Disney parks are good at a lot of things. Shows and restaurants, giving you that awful depressing pit in your stomach when you know you have to leave soon. But one of the things these parks are most well known for are their rides, of course. And lucky for us, more brand new Disney rides are on their way. Not just in Disney World, but in every single Disney park around the world. Now, as we look into all the latest Disney rides in the making, or at the very least in the planning stages of being made, just keep in mind that the ride lines for each of the parks for new and popular attractions alike can get really long and may take some extra planning before your trip to make sure you can juggle all the rides you're wanting to ride in one visit. For parks in the States, we've got Disney Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes to help us out. And if you want to learn more about how this premium line bypassing tool works, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen or head on over to disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyGeniePlus to pick up a free digital copy of our ultimate Disney Genie Guide. So let's start in the USA for our first round of new rides coming to the Disney scene. If you've been staying up to date with all the Disney World and Disneyland news in 2023, then you're probably already aware that Splash Mountain took its last plunge into the laughing place at the beginning of this year. But that's because Disney's getting ready to majorly re-theme this classic log flume into Tiana's Bayou adventure, based around the animated Disney film Princess and the Frog. The story of the attraction, as Disney shares, picks up during New Orleans carnival season, and Tiana's hosting a Mardi Gras party for her city and the community that supported her now highly successful restaurant. But Tiana realizes that the party is missing a key ingredient, and she needs your help to find it. I don't know what good I'm gonna do, but hey, who am I to question Tiana? While the log flume layout will stay pretty much the same as before, the ride scenes will introduce us to fun new characters, lots of great jazzy tunes, lots of lighting and technical effects, and not to spoil anything, but there's going to be a happily ever after too, with a full-on colorful Mardi Gras party. Tiana's Bayou adventure isn't set to open until late 2024, but we've already seen lots of construction progress for this ride taking place in both Disneyland and Disney World. And we'll continue to keep you updated on other new milestones we come across for this ride via the Disney Food Blog website. Now, in case you're curious, there is one remaining version of the OG Splash Mountain that remains in the Disney scene, and that's the version over in Tokyo Disneyland. That's a park that's got a lot of new rides coming its way too, which we'll talk about more later on in the video. Now, these next two ride additions that I want to talk about aren't exactly brand new Disney rides or anything, but they are brand new ride elements. Over in Disneyland, Hollywood Studios, and actually Disneyland Paris, Star Tours will be getting updated with brand new ride scenes for even more ride variations each time you hop onto this 3D flight simulator. You can expect to see these new scenes pop up during your Star Tours experience later in 2024. And the cult classic favorite character from Disneyland's version of the Haunted Mansion, aka the Hatbox Ghost, will soon be making his bone-chilling debut in Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion 2. Very recently, we learned that the Hatbox Ghost will be materializing in the Endless Hallway. We're still not quite sure when he'll become a permanent resident of the Florida area, but we do know it should happen sometime soon. Now, while those are all the big set-in-stone Disney World rides for now, there is the potential of more ride additions for the Florida parks on the horizon. During the D23 Expo last year, Josh D'Amaro, chairman of the Disney Parks Experiences and Products, announced that Disney has a few major projects in early development right now. Now, the biggest include Magic Kingdom expansion with new lands based around Encanto and Coco and the Disney villains even, and there's a possible complete overhaul of Dino Land USA in Disney's Animal Kingdom with some brand new Moana and Zootopia areas teased. But since the expo, we haven't really heard a lot more about these potential expansions, since the projects themselves are still in their blue sky stage, aka they're Disney's highly considered concepts, but still just concepts. While we probably won't see these lands in development until way later down the line, if they happen at all, we did get a sneak peek at some very interesting ride blueprints that might just point toward a future Moana-inspired boat ride for the distant future. In 2021, Disney filed a patent for a boat motion simulator, which includes several images of what this attraction could possibly look like. Theoretically, this simulator would be able to create the actual feeling of boat-type motions, all while floating naturally and vertically supported by buoyancy in the water. But here's where things get real interesting. In another one of the blueprint figures, you can see a larger image of the attraction, including a dome screen for projected images with Moana and Maui on a separate boat. Now, don't get too excited yet, my friends, as boat technology could be used in any number of attractions or none. But the image of Moana and Maui still suggests that this could be intended specifically for a Moana-themed ride. But we won't know that with 100% certainty until Disney comes out and announces something themselves. Meanwhile, over in Disneyland, Avengers Campus will be expanding into the multiverse. During the 2022 D23 convention, we learned that at the heart of this new Avengers Campus area, DCA is planning on opening up a new attraction where guests can battle alongside superheroes and villains from everywhere, and every timeline too. Now, back before Avengers Campus even opened in DCA, there was a ride that was supposed to open up along with the area that sounds pretty familiar to this one. So it could be the same ride that got swept under the rug before, or it could be an entirely new concept. We also have no idea when this ride is projected to be released. There are so many what-ifs surrounding it that it could star in its very own Disney Plus episode. But what we do know for sure is that a new villain, King Thanos, is going to be introduced during this ride whenever it does open. And if that doesn't get your heart feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, then I don't know what will. In the meantime, you can still ride Disney California Adventure's newest ride in the park, Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, which did open up with Avengers Campus back in 2021. Now, out of all the Disney parks, Tokyo DisneySea is by far and away keeping the most busy with its up-and-coming rides and attractions. Tokyo DisneySea is getting ready to open up a brand new port called Fantasy Springs, which will bring 3 new areas into the park themed around Tangled, Frozen, and Peter Pan. With these 3 new areas, the park will also be receiving 4 new attractions. You'll be able to take a relaxing boat ride through the Lantern Festival in Corona, team up with the Lost Boys on an epic adventure to save John Darling from a dastardly group of pirates, explore Tinkerbell's home in Pixie Hollow, and Let It Go with Elsa in a ride that we believe is going to be very similar to the Frozen Ever After Dark ride that currently exists in Epcot, but with updated animatronics and technology. Versions of Frozen Ever After will also appear in Paris and Hong Kong too, but I'm going to stop right there or else I'd be getting ahead of myself. This new Fantasy Springs area in Tokyo DisneySea was originally going to open up in 2023, but because of those pandemic-related delays, this port is now projected to open in spring 2024. Now, let's jump into Tokyo Disney's second park, Tokyo Disneyland, for a major ride overhaul. Starting in 2024, Space Mountain will be closing for an extended period of time as the park renovates the entire Tomorrowland area to not only look more futuristic, but according to Disney, it'll be updated to represent a future where humans are in harmony with nature. So think, more places to relax, recharge, and appreciate the area around you. While the Space Mountain coaster will still remain indoors, the coaster will be enhanced with new elements and effects that'll actually tell more of a story than before. A story that's both thrilling and heartfelt. But don't get too excited about this one yet, y'all, because once the Tomorrowland area closes up shop in 2024, it's not going to be ready for guests until later in 2027. So we got a ways to go before we see just how serene and neato this revamped area is going to be. Now, remember how I accidentally spilled the beans early and told you that Hong Kong Disney would be getting a new Frozen Ever After ride? Well, it's not just a ride that Hong Kong Disneyland is receiving, it's a whole Frozen area. World of Frozen is bringing Arendelle to the Hong Kong scene. Fun fact, this new area will actually be using the natural landscape of Lantau Mountain behind Hong Kong Disneyland as a natural backdrop to this area, making it feel all the more immersive. Along with a new quick service and merch shop, and of course the Frozen Ever After ride, there'll be another new Frozen-themed ride for the area. Wandering Oaken's Sliding Sleighs will be a family coaster built similarly to the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that you'll find in Magic Kingdom in Orlando. And get this, both of these rides, as well as the entire World of Frozen area, will be ready to open up the gates in November 2023. That's not too far off, my friends, not too far off at all. Who's ready to go to Hong Kong? Now, Shanghai Disneyland is the baby of the Disney park since it only just opened back in 2016, but it's been keeping up with its older park siblings pretty well. In fact, the park is getting ready to open its second ever major expansion later on this year, and a very wild one at that. Everyone, welcome to Zootopia, where Predator and Prey come together to provide guests with new entertainment, possibly puppetry entertainment, which I'm stoked for, new places to eat and drink, new gift shops, and yes, a brand new Zootopia ride. Ride, where you'll join Officer Judy Hopps and her sly sidekick Nick Wilde in a high-speed pursuit around Tundra Town. Y'all, the animals that are going to be featured during this ride are going to be epic. We've already seen animatronics for animal models like a 3-meter tall polar bear, far-out Yaks Yogi, Officer Clawhauser himself, who will greet guests right at the Zootopia Police Department, aka the entrance to the ride, and maybe even a moving, skating, toppling, climbing Judy Hopps, since we saw a Disney robot being tested over at this year's South by Southwest conference in Austin, Texas, for a little rabbit robo type that looked very similar to our friend Judy here. Now, while this ride is being described by Imagineers as a high-speed chase, it's going to be more like how Remy's Ratatouille adventure in Epcot in Disneyland Paris is a high-speed chase to escape Chef Skinner. Thanks to screen-based technology along with physical sets, this ride will be made for all ages but still have the feel of putting the pedal to the metal. And since we've already talked about a Frozen expansion happening in 2 parks, how's about one more for the books? The Kingdom of Arendelle is working its way into the Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, only steps away from the brand new Avengers Campus area that opened last summer. Now, I'm not here to sound like a broken record, but the Arendelle vibes here are similar to what you're probably going to see over in Hong Kong and Tokyo too. So Norwegian architecture, big ol' ice castle for Elsa, character meet and greet opportunities with your favorite Frozen friends, and is that a Frozen Ever After ride I see? Probably. Technically, Disney hasn't specified that this is what's coming to Paris too, but they have mentioned that guests can expect a new attraction that will take guests on a journey accompanied by the iconic Frozen characters, which sounds a whole lot like Frozen Ever After, but I'm not here to assume. Unfortunately, unlike the world of Frozen in Hong Kong, which is only months away from opening, it's still going to be a bit before we see any Arendelle action on the Paris front, but we'll keep our eyes and ears open for any signs of an opening date to be. But wait, there's more! Disneyland Paris will also be opening up a new Tangled ride, but this one's not going to be like a full-on boat ride like you'll find being built in Tokyo DisneySea. Instead, the Tangled Round ride is going to be more of a spinner-like ride in a similar vein to the Mad Tea Party, just with more lanterns and boats. Again, we don't have a lot of details concerning when this project will reach completion, or like any for that matter, but we'll keep our ears to the ground nonetheless. Now, as Smash Mouth would say, there's so much to do, so much to see. You like that early 2000s reference? Even if you don't, please say yes and make me feel better. While Disney is keeping busy Imagineering all these different rides, now is the time to do your homework and make sure you're ready for their arrival. So don't forget to download our free Ultimate Disney Genie Guide today from disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyGeniePlus to make your study sessions way easier to handle. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.